In this lecture, we will start with very basic concepts of Python, and then we will gradually move on to advanced concepts in the upcoming lectures. So the agenda of this lecture is to learn data types and variables. Before starting the data types and variables, we would like to know what is the print statement. So let's learn about the print statement. Print is basically a function. What is a function? We will learn more about the functions in the upcoming lectures, but let's first of all know why we use print statement. We use print statement to print any sentence or any message on the screen. To use the print statement, we need to write print, and then in the parenthesis we need to write the message. This message can be in the form of any data types. We will learn about data types in this lecture. If we want to print any number, then we will write print and then the number. Let's say we want to write 10. Then the output will be 10. And similarly, if we want to print any string or any sentence, then we have to use double quotes. Also, we can use single quotes. These both are the true method to write the quotation mark, but we cannot use double quote and single quote at the same time. So this was the print statement. Let's check how print statement works in the Jupyter notebook. Print 10. So as we can see, the output is 10. Similarly, print statement can be used to do the arithmetic operations as well. Print n. If we want to add 2 plus 3, then it will do the arithmetic operation by itself. 5. Now the next is if we add the quotation mark and then 2 plus 3. But in this case, the output will not be 5 and it will give output as 2 plus 3 because it is not in the form of integer, it is in the form of string. Okay, so this is all about print statement. Now we can start with the data types. Data types. First of all, let's take an example. Let's say there is a data which shows the height of an individual. So the data would look something like this. First column is about serial number. Second column is about the name of the person. And third one is the height of that person. Let's say John's height is 170 centimeters. So this name John has different kind of data type. 170 centimeters has the different kind of data type. So by looking at this, we get to know that every data has some different data types. So let's dive deep into it. So data has mainly two types. First one is numeric type of the data, and second one is character, or we can say alphabetic. This numeric type of data further divides into two types. First one is integer and second is float. Let's learn integer and float in more details. First is integer. As we have learned during our school times, if we write like this 1, 2, 3 up to infinity, then this kind of number series is known as natural number series. If we add 0 to this, then 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, this is known as whole number series, whole numbers. Similarly, if we add negative values also, then it would look something like this: -2, -1, then 0 and 1, 2, 3 and so on. So this type of numbers are integers. So if we discuss the range of integer, then integer lies between -infinity to infinity, with considering 0 as well. Okay. So next is float. Second, we will like to know about float. So this is also a type of numeric type of data, but in this type of data, if the decimal is present, then that kind of numerical type of data we know as float. If we take example, then if there is a 101.5 or 5 point, this if it is written as 5 point, then also it will be considered as 5.0. These all are known as float. If there is written 0.0, then it is float also. Okay, let's take one question. In that question, different types of data will be written in that. We need to check which data type it holds. Okay, so first is 0.4, then 0.2, then in the parenthesis 1.5, then 2. So as we can see, these both has decimal, so we can clearly say that this is a float data type. Similarly, here we can observe the parenthesis, so we can say this is a string data type and this is a integer. Okay, so let's understand string into more detail. So the third data type is string. We can also write str for it. So what is string? String is nothing but a sequence of characters. Okay, as we have discussed earlier, string can be written with single parenthesis or with double parenthesis. Here, if we write any name of this city, it will be written as, let's say city name is Mumbai, then it is one kind of string. String can contain number as well. Let's say science 20, then this is also a string. String can contain special characters also. Let's say XYZ @ hashtag and $. This is also a string. Next data type is Boolean. It can be written as bool. Basically, Boolean has only two types: true and false. True is equivalent to 1, where false is equivalent to 0. Now, in the next we will learn how to check the data types. So the question is how to check the data type of an object. Here in the question we have see object. So what is object? In Python everything is object. We will learn more about object and object oriented programming in the upcoming lectures. We can say integer, float, double, string, integer, float, string, boolean, everything is object. Here as the question is how to check the data type of an object. To check the data type of an object in Python, we use the type function. If we want to check the data type of 10, then we will use the type function and write 10 into it. Then in the output we will get the integer. Basically this kind of function works as the basic mathematical function. As the basic mathematical function is y is equals to f of x is equals to, let's say, is equals to 2x. Here we write the value of x and in the output we get the value of x multiplied by 2, type of 10. As you can see, it shows the output as integer, so the data type of 10 is integer. Similarly, Python is a case sensitive, so we cannot write small true with a small t. We have to use capital T in it. So the data type of true is a boolean. This is all about the data types. So the next topic is variable. So first of all, let's understand what is variable. Variable is something which can hold multiple values. If we want to understand variable in another language, then we can say variable is not something which is static. It can take multiple values and it can keep on changing. So we can say it is dynamic. Okay. So let's understand by taking an example of function. Let's say f of x is equals to x square plus 2x plus 1. Here x is a variable and let's say the value of variable is 2. So x is equals to 2. So this will be 2 square plus 2 multiplied by 2 plus 1 is equals to 4 plus 4 plus 1. So it will be 9. Okay. So if we take an example of another languages, then if we want to write about variables in another language, then we have to write something like this: integer x. But in Python we just need to write something like this: x is equals to 3, and Python will automatically detect then that the value of x is integer. So we can say that Python is dynamically typed language. Okay. Let's understand more about variable by taking example. Here the x is equals to 3, y is equals to high. When we write something like this, x is equals to something, y is equals to something, then the value of x and y gets stored in a RAM. RAM is nothing but a random access memory. So the first thing happen in RAM is there will be an object of 3 which will be created, and X will start to referring it. Similarly, there will be a string object of name hi, and Y will start referring it. But there is one question: what happens if X has more than one values? Like something like this: X is equals to 3, then X is equals to 5, and then print X. In this case, there will be object of 3, and X will start to referring it. Then there is object of 5, and X will refer to it. But in this case, this reference will get cancelled. And in the terminology of Python, this is known as garbage collector. Let's see how the variables get stored in a Jupyter notebook. X is equals to 3, then X is equals to 5, and we want to print the X. Then the output is 5. There is another important concept which is known as variable naming rules. Variable naming rules. This concept is important as this will be always followed whenever you give name to any variable, because variables do not follow any haphazard rules. Okay, so the first rule is it should not start with any numbers and any special characters, something like @ $, hashtag, or something like brackets, curly brackets, square brackets, or parentheses. So let's understand more about these rules. We cannot write something like this: 1 signs, as this variable name is starting from 1. Okay. Similarly, we cannot write something like this, signs, because it is starting from @. But there is exception in a Python programming that variables can be start from underscore signs. This is correct. Okay. Similarly, we can write something like this: name 1. We cannot start a variable by number, but we can always end it by number. It can be 1, it can be 1, 2, 4, anything. This is true. But still, we cannot use something like this, @. This is wrong. Okay. So there is a more 2 concepts regarding variable. First is camel case and another is snake case. Both are very simple. In the snake case, we use something like this: name _ hello. This is a snake case. Let's first of all write about camel case, then we will understand what is the difference between both. In camel case, we start the variable name with uppercase, and whenever there is another or second word, we will start it with uppercase again. So this is a camel case. So these both concepts were very easy to understand. Okay, so that's all about this video. Thank you for watching.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.